Schools and classes in Tennessee school districts now have the option to ask for virtual learning when they have disruptions due to COVID-19. News 4's Tosin Fakile explains how this works and talks to one Tennessee school district closed this week.
Now, to be clear, this isn't a district-wide plan for remote, virtual, or hybrid instruction. This is based on individual classrooms or schools when they're not able to safely and reasonably provide in-person learning due to high impact of COVID-19. And it helps schools avoid using stockpile days because of COVID-19. This waiver sent to school districts last week Friday is meant to provide short-term relief as COVID-19 continues to surge. A district has to document the impact of COVID-19 on their student and staff by submitting the waiver request to the Board of Education to allow students impacted either isolating or in quarantine to take part in remote learning.
To be clear, if a student is quarantined, a classroom is quarantined, or a school is quarantined, it is the expectation that those children are receiving the same number of instructional hours as they otherwise would have. It is an instructional day, and it is remote learning. It is not a day off. It is not a closure. It is moving to remote teaching and learning.
Commissioner Penny Schwinn says they'll review waiver requests from schools that announced closing this week.
If, for example, the district closed schools for the week and today they had a school building closure or used a stockpile day and no instruction was provided, a waiver would not be allowed for that because it's not an instructional day.
Where we are in this phase of this is still having discussions and talking about the information that was sent down and what that looks like as we consider incorporating that into our district moving forward beyond our shutdown period that we're in right now.
Wilson County schools are closed this week due to strong surge of COVID-19 cases. I asked educators there what it would take to implement virtual learning per classroom or school if one of their schools applied for waivers.
There's a lot of intricate details that go into remote learning, even from a full district-wide capacity or even a partial capacity. And that's what our district teams are doing right now to see, to do scenarios of kind of if it was a particular school or a particular grade band at a school.
The state's Board of Education says waivers will be reviewed on a case-by-case basis.
There will be a point where if it's multiple consecutive waivers, we're going to want to work with that school as well as the local health department to figure out whether all mitigation strategies are in place to the extent possible.
Commissioner Penny Schwinn says waivers will be reviewed at 9 a.m., noon, and 3 p.m. every day. So far, the state's Department of Education says they have received one waiver request. For News 4 Nashville, I'm Tosin Fakile.